What is up, everyone? Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today we're going to take a look at the next main series banner, and it is for Fire Emblem Fates. So it's been a while since Fates has had a banner, and now it's their turn, and we also have Ash on the banner, which we'll get to. But they're starting off strong with Ryoma, Attuned Ryoma to be exact, as another Sword of Infantry. Now, obviously, Sword of Infantry is a very competitive class type, it's very saturated, but this Ryoma, I think, separates himself because this guy is pretty crazy, and it makes sense. And even though Fates isn't my favorite Fire Emblem game, it's one of my least favorites, honestly, from a story's perspective especially. It does have some characters I like a lot, and Ryoma's one of them. And Ryoma is pretty broken. If you've played Birthright, he's honestly probably the best sword unit in the game. Top 5 sword infantry or sword unit, you can argue, in the whole franchise. Honestly, Ryoma's really broken, and I'm glad that they're making him good again, because when this game first came out, Ryoma was a top tier sword infantry, and his legendary version came out, which was pretty good. And obviously he's fallen off, so now he's back with a new white armor version, which kind of reminds me, I don't know if it's exactly based off his dad, Sumeragi, rest in peace, but his dad had kind of a lighter armor. And when his legendary version came out, I know some people were disappointed that it wasn't anything like this, because it was just basically his normal version with a little bit different design, and he was flying. So this one is more like his dad, even though I don't know if it, like I said, I don't know if it's exactly based off Sumeragi, but it is more like it because his dad wore kind of a grayish white armor. But yeah, Ryoma's back with a vengeance, and he's an attuned hero. He comes with a new X skill, and he's going to be tanking Ninja Lucina. So Hoshido Reginto is his weapon, -1 cooldown, of course, with this encounter, because that's what Ryoma had, and that's what he does. So at the start of player phase and enemy phase, if he's alive, he grants defense res +6, dodge, and penalty neutralization to himself and allies within 2 spaces for a turn. And then if foe initiates combat, or if he's alive at the start of combat, grants a bonus to all of his stats equal to the number of allies within 3 rows, 3 columns. We've seen this before. Maximum 14, and reduces damage for foes' attacks by 20% of his speed. Of course, flat damage reduction is mandatory for any modern unit trying to tank. And then also reduces damage from foes' specials by an additional 20% of his speed, so he has another layer of that. And then when unit special triggers, deals damage 40% of his speed. Wow. So we haven't even gone to his special, but when his special triggers, he deals 40% of his speed, which of course he's going to be fast. Probably, I guess at this point, 50 base speed or something close. And then he has a style as well, which is pretty crazy, which we'll see. Gust is a special, giving 50% of his speed into that damage, and of course some flat damage reduction. And then Duelist Blow. So if unit initiates combat within 3 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +9 to unit, and reduces damage for foes first attack by X. X equals the brave hits. And then if unit initiates combat, X equals 15. Wow. Otherwise, X equals 7, and then also has null guard, and yeah, just full null guard tempo, should I say. So Duelist Blow is pretty crazy because it gives him more stats, it gives him more flat damage reduction, which already has layers of it here, and then he also has a special that can give it to him. So Duelist Blow, that's pretty crazy. It's very simple, you know, it's not that long of a description, I guess, but that is really insane. So he's going to be really bulky and hit like a truck. I mean, you could say that about a ton of units, but I feel like Ryoma here is stacked, because we're not even done, because we haven't even gone to his pure FB, which is Bushido Tenet. If a skill, so he has phantom speed, at the start of player phase, enemy phase, grants fringe bonus. Fringe bonus was what? I think bonus doubler. I think what is it? Dear Dumbleman, his brave version had that. So we already have another unit with it, and then no follow-up built in is really nice as always. So you don't have to outsource that. So he gives that to himself and his allies, along with you know, penalty neutralization that he had in his weapon. Inflicts -5 to everything except for res on the foe during combat. When unit special triggers, deals 15 plus units max special cooldown count value times 5 true damage. And then he also has the damage reduction piercing built in, so he has even more true damage. And then he also has more flat damage. Goodness, man, this man is stacked to the brim. Reduces damage from foes attacked by 15 during combat, so just flat 15. Usually it's by 7, but it's just straight up 15 for this man. And then unit's next attack deals true damage, more true damage. Holy shit. His next attack deals damage equal to the total damage reduced, and he already reduces damage like crazy. So this guy is pretty cracked. I mean, I don't expect anything less from Ryoma, but I didn't expect this much layers of damage reduction and damage reflection and damage and true damage, just tons of damage stuff. And then also 7 HP healing for some sustain. So this skill, on top of everything that he has, is pretty crazy. Now I think Duelist Blow is inheritable, I'm pretty sure. So that's one thing to consider. But yeah, that Bushido Tenet, that's an insane skill. Like that's pretty crazy, man. Jeez. And then he comes with attack speed faith. So attack speed faith is going to give him bulwark, so even more status effects and even more flat damage reduction, and also some special jumping. And then there is his X skill, Tumultuous Echo. This is just Brutal Tempest built in pretty much, except without the stats. So that is going to make him an incredible, mixed phase unit, because while he is tailored towards tanking and he has distant counter and stuff, he can still initiate and just destroy you. That animation is sick. So Reginto, one of the coolest looking swords, honestly. So yeah, I like Ryoma. I've always liked Ryoma. So it's pretty crazy to see him this broken again. It's been a while, you know. So good for Ryoma fans, but damn, he's going to be a menace. He's going to give Brave Byleth a run for his money for sure, because Brave Byleth does have the ability to attack from 3 spaces, but Ryoma has the ability to attack from 2 spaces. So it's kind of like, Emblem Erica's style, I guess. So unit can attack foes 2 spaces away, and then also has the decreased speed difference necessary for unit to make a follow-up attack. So yeah, that is, I mean, the fact that he has a style is pretty crazy as an attuned hero. So yeah, they're just putting on styles for people that I guess deserve it, and I think Ryoma's deserving. I mean, as a character, I guess you can make, you can argue that he's a little questionable at times for what he did in the game. If you know, you know. But Ryoma, he's just a cool guy. I like his design. He's incredibly powerful. He's fun to use, and he's a legacy unit in FEH, honestly, because he's been in the game since the beginning. He's been top tier back in those 2017 days, and now he's back to becoming a top tier. So that's pretty cool. I always like it when previous top tiers become top tier again. I think that's always fun. Up next is a new rearmed hero, which is going to be Ryoma's sister, Hinoka, and she's bringing, of course, as you might expect, a new Arcane Lance. So, Arcane Lewin was the last one we got, which was pretty good for a time, but now, we needed a new one with updated stats and effects. So I like the design on her. Hinoka is another character I've always kind of liked. And she is pretty crazy because she brings a skill that I'm not a fan of, which we'll get to. But Arcane Crimson is the name, so -1 cooldown, inflicts a -5 to everything except for res on foes within 3 rows 3 columns centered on unit. That's pretty good. So kind of like an Omni range skill. And then you have, if you're alive or foe initiates combat at the start of combat, grants bonus to all of her stats equal to 25% of foes attack at the start of combat, -9, maximum 9, minimum 0, deals damage. True damage is 15% of your attack, and then it also has the flat damage reduction, 15% of your attack, and then also has the special jump, -1 to unit before your first attack, and 7 HP healing. So while these are good, options to have, I also feel like a lot of the arcane weapons, at least as of late, are kind of samey. They just kind of have the same thing with some special jumping or HP healing, and of course flat damage output, which I guess I kind of get it. That's what you need, honestly. So, but I kind of wish some of them were more unique. Haze Slice is the special, so this is going to give you more special jumping and of course some damage output and some flat damage reduction. Blue Skies, we've seen the skill before. It's one of the best A slots right now for flyers and cavalry units, so that makes sense for Hinoka. And then here's the skill I'm not a fan of. Air Superiority. I like the name, I like the icon, but this has pass built into it, and I hate pass. It's one of my least favorite things in this game. I've talked about it a little bit before. Young Camilla is a demon, a demonic unit that just is just disgusting, and she can pass through your spaces. You really can't do anything against her. I mean, there's some units obviously that can take her out, but and you can obviously kill her in the player phase, but that's easier said than done in Aether Raids, where she's going to be covered by good teammates and really bulky save tanks. And like, Camilla just cheats and just ignores your entire team and then just kills you and then can just canto back. So we're kind of just giving this to other flyers and making, I guess, you're making Young Camilla a little bit less unique now. I mean, obviously Young Camilla still has that flat damage output, but this is inheritable, so you can give this to other units and just kind of do what Camilla does. So yeah, and pass in general I think is just really dangerous, and it makes me not want to really play the game as much. Like, I mean, in terms of competitive, because like summer duels, I want to get those rewards, but it's just hard when you're fighting Young Camilla every game and she just checkmates your team. So yeah, it's just really annoying. So yeah, pass built into this is kind of crazy. For each foe within 5 spaces of unit, unit can move to any of the nearest spaces adjacent to that foe, unless the space is impassable terrain. And then of course we're gonna get stats. -4 speed defense on the foe, and you deal true damage, 20% of the greater speed defense. And then you have the potent follow built into it, which is pretty crazy, because you already have access to potent assault which I think is allowed on flyers, right? And then yeah, it's allowed on calves and flyers. And then potent finish, of course. So you can argue this is better than potent skills because you have potent built into it, right? I'm pretty sure potent assault is allowed on flyers. Let me double check this. Am I tripping? I'm pretty sure it's allowed on flyers. Checking my game right now. Yeah, it is allowed on flyers. So yeah, potent assault, one of the best skills, is now having competition with air superiority because you can just have pass built into it, which ignores barricade and all that good stuff. So yeah, like I said, not a fan of this because it's just, I don't know, it's just kind of, it feels like cheating. And I know there's a lot of broken stuff in this game, but pass just feels extra broken. Encouragement is her pure FC. At start of turn, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, grants attack speed +6, treachery, and incited to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. That's pretty powerful. Treachery is not the most common status, but that is just melts people sometimes. For foes within 3 rows, 3 calm center on a unit inflicts -5 to everything except for res. You have buff nullification, and then you have damage reduction piercing by 50%. And then if unit initiates combat within 2 spaces of an ally, it has +7 true damage. You have no follow-up. And also, if potent follow has triggered, then oh wow, so you get potent follow 100%. Okay, so you can pull a Marth and get all the hits. So that is a really good skill. So she has amazing support, amazing combat, you know, nullifies buffs, pierces through damage reduction, has potent follow up, can pass through your spaces, and cheat. So Hinoka, even though she's not gonna have a pure F weapon, it kind of makes up for it with her other skills. I mean, this is an insane kit she has. Haze Slice for the jumping as well. So Hinoka is pretty crazy. I would love to get air superiority to give it to one of my non-legendary Cetas or something. You know, my flyer Cetas, that would be kind of crazy to have. So yeah, flyers just got more powerful. And then we have the new hero joining the battle. I say hero because she's literally the only new hero on the banner that hasn't been in the game yet, and that is Scarlet. So Scarlet is a fan favorite that has been requested for a very long time, so Scarlet fans can rejoice. Even though she doesn't have a PRF, she is leased in the game. And she's going to be a demote, I suppose. Yep, she has the demoted class. Skills, Doubler Axe, Ignis, Speed Defense Catch, and Flow Flight 3. Flow Flight is a forgettable skill. I think it debuted on like Spring Maria or something like that. But now it's on a demote, which is kind of cool. I don't even know if it prerequisites into any other of the tier 4 like flight skills. I'm not sure. Because you have Pegasus Flight and then Pegasus Rift, obviously. So I don't know, but Flow Flight is pretty decent, I suppose. And last but not least is the new type of hero on the banner, and that is Ashe, and this is her Entwined version. Borrowed Power. We saw this in the Tempest trial, and I'm a fan of this design for obvious reasons. I think Ashe looks really good here, even though she's not my favorite OC. She's always been, you know, a pretty decent character, I suppose. Definitely very cute. And here she is tanking Summer Happy with a beast effective, or she has, you know, Happy hits like a truck and has a beast effective weapon, and Ashe is just going to survive it with 1 and tank it, because this Ashe is pretty crazy because it comes with Imbue. And if you remember what Imbue does, that is what Legendary Black Knight has. And even though there is more counters to Black Knight now, he's still an insane unit. Imbue is pretty crazy, so Ashe is bringing that with her here. So Entwining Horn, -1 cooldown at the start of player phase or enemy phase, grants Imbue, Resonant Shields, buff nullification to support partner unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. If unit is transformed or foe initiates combat, grants bonus to all of her stats except for speed to a maximum of 14. We've seen all this before. 20% true damage based on her defense, of course, for the hitting harder, of course, and then also has flat damage reduction from the same percentage of her defense, and then reduces damage from foe specials by an additional 20%. So just like Ryoma, she has layers on this shit. And then also makes a guaranteed follow-up attack, and also if she has more defense than the foe's defense, +5 or equal to that, has Hardy Bearing. So she's very similar to Legendary Black Knight, who also has the Hardy Bearing defense check. So Hardy Bearing is definitely going to help her against Desperation and Vantage units like Duo Marth. So this sucks for me, but you know, I've always said before, I think there should be more Hardy Bearing in the game, so they're definitely doing that now. And then of course she has the effect that Infantry Beasts get, which is more damage, +7 damage when your special triggers, and null guard or tempo. And then Flame Wall is her new special. So this is the same thing as Ice Wall, except it's based on defense. So that's pretty cool. So for a unit like her that is very bulky, that is going to be good. I guess you can also use Sturdy Beast, but this skill, you know, works pretty similar to Sturdy Beast, except it has a higher check on defense, I suppose, I think, if I remember correctly. This is an attack defense form. Okay, so she's very similar to Legendary Black Knight. She has another skill like his. So we've seen that on him, and then Legu's friend, you know, the old classic Legu's friend, you know what it does. Gonna give her that more damage output, more bulk, and then Air of Openness is her PFC. If unit can transform, transformation effects gain. Okay. If unit is within 2 spaces of any allies from a different title than unit as a trigger condition. Okay. If defending an 8th of raids at start of enemy turn 1, unit transforms, so easier transformations. Allies within 2 spaces of unit can move to any space within 2 spaces of unit. I think Melee had it, or Melee, whatever, her alternate version that's more angry. I think she had this as well. Foes with range, so she has a Bulwark built in. For support partner and for allies within 3 spaces of unit, grants +5 to everything except speed. Reduces damage from foes' attacks by 7, so more flat damage reduction, and next attack deals damage 40% of foes' first attack. What? 40% of foes' first attack damage prior to reductions. Okay, wow. 40% of the foe's first attack before damage reduction. Okay, so that sounds pretty powerful. You have more true damage on top of what you already had. So she's kind of like Ryoma, just stacking a ton of stuff. And then if unit is within 3 spaces of an ally, grants more stats, +5. Deals +7 true damage, more true damage, and then more flat damage reduction by foes' attacks by 7. And then unit's next attack deals, oh wow. Oh, actually, no, the first part was for support partner and those allies. This part is just for her. Okay, yeah. So that's why it's repeating. So, yeah, Air of Openness is very, very powerful. Wow. So this Ashe is no joke. She's pretty much better than her mythic version, even though her mythic version I think got a pretty good refine. This Ashe is next level tanking. Imbue, I mean, anytime you can get Imbue, that is ridiculous. So here she is taking on Happy, living with 4 HP, and then she's gonna flame wall it up and destroy her. Yeah, this is the Ashe right now. So yeah, that art is amazing. So they're gonna they're going to explain Entwined heroes. So this is what it is basically makes your ally support and summoner support better. You get more stats from them, and you can move up to S plus support. So you get more stats. Obviously, I think this personally, while it's a cool effect and everything, and you can another thing to add to sell more heroes and make your units more powerful. It's not a must-have. It's kind of like the aided accessory. Like the aided accessory just gives you +1, which obviously can matter, but I guess this is even better because it gives you even more stats depending on the summoner support and stuff and the ally support. So you can get up to HP +7 and +2, because before I think it was HP +5 and +2 or +1, something like that. So when you get an Entwined hero, you get a bouquet from them, and you can use that bouquet to give it to someone else to get the same effects. So you can make them basically an Entwined hero, I suppose. So that's pretty nice. Flower power, literally. So, you know, but like I said, I don't think it's a must-have. I think Ascended Florets and, you know, stuff like that is more valuable. And of course the skills themselves that like Attuned heroes give. But this is nice, you know. I don't think it's anything I'm going to be pulling for in particular, because ally support I think is not as good as it used to be because of just how much stats we get now. But before I think it was more relevant. There's the Allfather, or whatever you pronounce his name, because he's based on Odin, I'm pretty sure. The Celestial King, and then we have what is his name? He's one of the enemies from Fates. He's the GHB. I forgot his name. Let me double check. What was it? It starts with an H. His name is Hinoka. So he's a lance unit. I don't really remember him from Fates, but you know, they're picking more obscure characters from GHBs, which is fine. I don't think they have to be super duper popular. But yeah, that is the Fates banner. Pretty stacked. It's insane. Now, Scarlet's the only hero here that's new and is the only one that's going to be in the regular pool. So I know that is annoying for some people, but the value that Hinoka and Ryoma have as not just fodder, but as units, is insane. I mean, we've had obviously very powerful Rearmed and Attuned heroes before, but I feel like this is a step up. This is next level stuff. And then Ashe, of course, who I haven't even mentioned, the Entwined hero, is pretty crazy in her own way. So yeah, that is the banner, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. Good luck if you're going to summon on it. And please stay safe out there. Peace out.